Mississippi.
The most likely time arrival for our area will probably sometime after midnight, early morning on Saturday.
Michael Hill is a forecaster with the National Weather Service.
Then we think Saturday afternoon down here south of I-20.
What you're hearing is a big MDOT truck. MDOT says those are being outfitted with salt spreaders, and today they will be pre-treating the roads as they are able, which could be inhibited because of the rain. The Mississippi Emergency Management Agency put this video out Wednesday, encouraging you to do some of your own prep work.
A disaster supply kit is key. It should have at least 3 days worth of non-perishable food and water, plus extra blankets and dry firewood. A first aid kit, flashlights, and extra batteries.
That's spokesperson Scott Simmons. Schools were put on lockdown Wednesday in Macomb when a man had a gun, say police. That man was in a hospital parking lot and moved toward the cops and was shot 3 times by an officer. His name has not been released, but he is alive. 60 years for 33-year-old Marcos Ariel Lara Perez, who on Easter 2023 set 3 of his roommates on fire in Hinds County, killing 2 of them in a house on Gary Drive after a fight. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WIAB. I'm Chris Davis.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the
Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome in to the Lindsey Beckham Show here in the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi studios. We're here in good old Flora, Mississippi, the Cotton Exchange Plaza. Hope everyone is having a good day. Hope everybody is getting prepared for the apocalypse, the storm of the century, it seems they are saying. You know, it's funny because we don't have storms, ice storms or snow very often. And so when you hear people in Mississippi talking about a certain storm, it's like, well, that's the ice storm of 1980. And everybody knows exactly which one they're talking about because they're so few and far between. But no, the way they are talking, it looks like we might get some weather. I think I said this yesterday, but I'm more scared of being iced in with 5 kids and no Wi-Fi and no electricity than I am of the actual weather. I mean, that is a true statement right there. You don't know how far your limits can be tested until you have lost power and Wi-Fi and you have small children. So everybody stock up. I think a lot of stores are already sold out of bottled water. Hope everybody's able to get everything that they need. And if anybody happens to have an extra generator they don't want, send it my way. Send it my way. The Senate Education Committee meeting is happening right now. I was listening to it on my way in. They started around 10:30 this morning. They were talking about school attendance officers and school safety officers. I think the funding for that is going to change a little bit. Y'all know how I feel about the whole safety officer situation. I think we can do a lot more to keep our schools safe. I think there could be many more guardrails put in place that are not already in place that would prohibit or make it a lot harder for someone to wreak havoc on our schools the way that we have seen so many school shootings go down. One thing that they did pass out of the Senate Education Committee meeting that I am excited about is that Senator Angela Hill has a bill, and we have worked on this a little bit in the last several years, but I don't think it ever even came out of committee. I don't think it ever got brought up in committee, but Mississippi public school systems, the counselors hired by our public schools have to adhere to the American Counselors Association, or the ACA guidelines, including their ethical guidelines. Well, we removed that line, or this bill will remove that line, so that Mississippi school counselors will no longer have to abide by the American Counselors Association's Code of Ethics, because here's the reason behind this. The American Counselors Association Code of Ethics says that students who go and talk to their school counselors and ask their school counselors not to contact their parents, those school counselors have to honor that. So what we've seen happen across the country in so many places is that a child will socially transition at school. They will go and talk to their teachers and their school counselors, and they will say they want to be called by different pronouns or a different name. And the school allows this to happen without notifying the parents. In fact, some even go as far as to ask the student, what would you like to be called here at school? And then what should I call you in front of your parents? Almost as though they are encouraging that the students hide these things from their parents, when the parent is the first one that should be made aware. You know, it's a very, very slippery slope when you start this you can trust me, you can tell me things, and it's safe with me. I won't talk to your parents about it. And this is my concern as well with what Governor Reeves is wanting to put in place as far as these mental health evaluations for all students. Because where's the parental consent? And that's when we get into these telehealth visits with providers. But who's making those referrals, and at what point does the parent play a role in that process? I don't like it. I think if there is a concern about a particular child's mental health or mental well-being, then the parent should be contacted, and the parent should seek out medical attention if that's what the parent thinks is needed. That's my opinion on this, and it's not going to change, because I've seen it play out too many times across this country where parents are being purposely kept out of decisions concerning their children. And I know I reference this Supreme Court case all the time, but the child is not a mere creature of the state. This is a 100-year-old Supreme Court case, Pierce versus the Society of Sisters. It says that it's a parent's fundamental right to direct the upbringing of their child's education. I mean, I think that's pretty cut and dry. So we've got to have the parents involved in those conversations. And so I think it's a great thing if Mississippi pushes this bill through and does remove this part of Mississippi guidelines for public school counselors, that they no longer abide by the American Counselors Association's Code of Ethics. I saw Senator Daniel Sparks presented a bill to the Senate Education Committee this morning, and I really liked it. I haven't gone and read the whole thing yet, but from the way it's described, I think it's something that could really be beneficial, especially to high school seniors. And it's teaching them how to decide financially what the best options are after they graduate, and not just automatically entering college as though it's a grade 13. It's knowing how to make the best financial decisions at that point to set you up for the best future possible. We see so many just jump into a university or a four-year college without having any idea what it is that they want to do. A lot of them are spending all that money on a four-year college without even knowing what classes they really need to be taken to work toward a goal. And so then, if they ever do graduate, a lot of times there's student loans. Right off the bat, they're in the hole. But if we had a class that really prepared high school seniors for that next step, I think that could make a huge difference. Now, what has not been brought out yet in this Senate committee meeting is HB 2. Of course, that's what caused all the controversy last week. It passed out of the House Education Committee and it passed the House floor. That's the bill that I've been talking about nonstop. I'm sure you've been hearing about it all over the place. The House Freedom Education Act. It's a whole bunch of things in one big, and this one actually is beautiful in my opinion, one big, beautiful education bill. And so the next step in the process is that it gets sent over to the Senate and has to come out of the Senate Education Committee. And so this is the first time they've met since that bill passed the House floor last week and was sent over to the Senate. Now, in a committee meeting, the committee chair decides what bills are going to be brought up in the committee for a vote. So there's a big possibility that this bill might die without ever even being discussed in the Senate Education Committee. Again, that meeting started at 10:30. They were still going when I hit the button to go live here, so it had not been brought up yet. It probably, and it's going to take a long time if it is brought up to argue that in committee, so I imagine that won't be happening today. I need to look and see when the next deadline is where these bills have to come out of committee. But again, there's been so much controversy surrounding that one particular bill. But I'll tell you what, even if HB 2 is killed by the Senate, I still think there are some things that are included in HB 2 that are going to pass, that have their own standalone bill. So we'll see. I think that there are going to be some things that we definitely do get this session. I very seriously doubt that we get all of it. But it's going to be exciting to watch. That's absolutely for sure. All right, we got to take a break. When we get back, I want to talk about, and I talked a little bit about this yesterday, but I was talking to some friends of mine. We have a group chat, and there's friends in there from all over the country, North Carolina, Arkansas, Indiana. There's a mess in Indiana this morning. We'll get into that when we get back. Y'all stay with us. We will be right back here. WIAB 103.9, The Lindsey Beckham Show. Back here, WIAB 103.9, The Lindsey Beckham Show.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our Sweet the Swamp Pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun Flint or dive into a Sweet the Swamp Pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Pure Air Consultants offers services on your heating and cooling system. It's time to get your heating system serviced. We offer replacement, service, maintenance agreements. It's important because if you have a gas heating system, it can produce carbon monoxide. So you want to make sure you have your system serviced and cleaned to protect your family. You want to make sure your system is safe to run. You can find us on our website at mypureairconsultants.com, mypureairconsultants.com.
Broad Street, King Cakes, pass that plate. Broad Street, King Cakes, taste so great. From Jackson Town to every state, bestkingcake.com, don't wait. Lines out the doorway, laughter in the air, hidden little baby waiting in there somewhere. From now till Mardi Gras, you know where to be. Or click that link and make your kitchen Bourbon Street. Broad Street, King Cakes, pass that plate. Broad Street, King Cakes, taste so great. From Jackson Town to every state, bestkingcake.com, don't wait.
Men, if you answer yes to any of these questions, you could be suffering from low testosterone. Do you have low sex drive? ED, always tired, depressed, loss of muscle mass, obese, loss of focus and drive? You, my friends, need to get your numbers checked. Check out Men's Health of Mississippi, located in Madison, Mississippi, and online at menshealthms.com. Guys, get your numbers checked today. Trust me, she'll thank you for it. I promise. menshealthms.com. Men's Health of Mississippi.
Looking for adventure, amazing food, and a little relaxation all in one place? You'll find it at Cypress Point Resort in Brandon. Load up the family and experience a real drive-through safari, petting zoo, and thrilling guided Jeep tours. Then slow it down with mouth-watering steaks at the steakhouse, or grab drinks and live music at the tavern. Planning a wedding or reunion? Cypress Point Resort has beautiful venues and cozy lodging. Ready for your big day or just a weekend escape? It's everything you love about the outdoors with a touch of luxury. Cypress Point Resort. Wild fun right around the corner. Looking to make technology work for your business instead of the other way around? Visit brentech.ms today. From reliable network infrastructure and wireless internet to cloud or on-premise backups, Brentech has solutions that keep your business connected, secure, and running smoothly. Don't let tech headaches slow you down. Discover how Brentech can simplify and elevate your business at brentech.ms. That's brentech.ms. Brentech, technology made easy.
Come together.
Welcome back to the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios. You are listening to the Lindsey Beckham Show. I am, of course, Lindsey Beckham. You can call in to the show today, 601-879-0002, or our text line, 601-879-4648. We are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, and X. Just search The Lindsey Beckham Show. And then if you're feeling extra nice today, you can share that out, like and share and comment and all the engagement so that the algorithm that's constantly changing knows to share this with others. So I talked a little bit yesterday about what's going on over in Sarasota County, Florida, and how contentious that school board meeting became on Tuesday. They had a school board member, to recap quickly, they had a school board member who spoke at an anti-ICE protest and used his position on the school board, his elected position, to make comments about not trusting ICE. Well, that caused quite the panic, especially, it seems, with students in Sarasota County. So there was a resolution that was voted on and adopted by the school board stating that they would comply with ICE should they show up with a warrant. Now, that's already their current policy. Nothing is changing. They're just reaffirming that. But ICE is not going into our schools. That's not happening. But there's this mass hysteria that they are going to be going into schools, or I believe some people think this is already happening. It's not. It's not happening. And children are hearing this. We're causing our children to be afraid to go to school. Now, I'm sure you've heard or seen the protests, the walkouts that were happening this week, these staged walkouts. Well, over in Indiana, there's a principal of Carmel High School. He worked with students to stage a walkout to protest ICE. And then he sent an email to staff explaining the students he collaborated with, and then he arranged or pre-arranged excused absences for those students. So, a principal is teaching students in his school district that you should oppose our law enforcement officers, and you can skip school to do it, and there should be no repercussions for that. I think that is wrong. I think it is sad that this is what our students, these are who are teaching our students. This is what they are learning when they should have role models for principals. I have another friend who was telling me this morning that they're going after him. He's an ICE agent, and he's on a school board in New York. So they are really targeting him, I think, to the point where he's almost just ready to resign. Now, I have a good friend in California who's a school board member, and she said California schools do not have access to a student's legal status. But right now, ICE is not going into our public schools and snatching up children. That's not happening, and the fear mongering and the fear that we are instilling in our children is just wrong. It's absolutely wrong. I think it's really sad, especially when you have principals helping to organize events like this, or school board members who are standing up at these anti-ICE rallies and using their position to push the fear mongering, to push the fear onto our students. I turned the Senate committee meeting back on during the break, and a bill that they had just brought out and were discussing. I love Senator Boyd called it the School Board Members Behaving Badly bill. Now, I'm not sure if it passed or not. They were discussing it a few minutes ago, but I think the idea is to bring recourse to school board members who, frankly, are behaving badly, who don't know how to act. There have been some across the state that have gotten into fights, raging fights, throwing books in the middle of the school board meetings. And then, of course, we all know about DeSoto County, Lindsey Whiteside, that school board member, Michelle Henley, who wrote a character letter for a basketball coach who's a child molester. An admitted child molester. Obviously, those residents and the parents with children in that school district were fit to be tied, as they should have been, as they should be, but there is no recourse. You cannot remove a school board member once they have been voted in. And by the way, this speaks to the point that it is just so very important to show up at those elections. They might not be the big ones, but the most local elections are the ones that affect you truly more than anything else. Right now, across the country, in a standalone school board election, only about 3 to 6% of registered voters show up to vote. 3 to 6%. That is abysmal. So you've got to get out and vote in those. Those are truly the most important, because this is what happens. You have a school board member, a rotten egg that gets in there, that does something you disagree with, and no matter how many people show up to speak out against them, there's nothing that can be done. Not by the parents, not by the citizens, not by the constituents, not even by the other school board members or the Department of Education. Basically, the only thing that can happen is if enough pressure is put on that particular school board member to resign. But I'll tell you what, some people have no shame. I know Michelle Henley doesn't over in DeSoto County. She hasn't let this bother her one bit. She still shows up and sits in that seat and holds her head high as though she's proud to support a child molester. I say a lot that how do we fix things? How do we change things? How do we make things better? It seems like there's just so much wrong. There's so much divide in our country right now. And I think it truly is a heart problem. I don't think you can legislate away the bad or legislate in the good. I think it's about hearts. It's about discernment too. It is about protecting our children, being so involved that you know what's going on, and praying about who is leading them, who is teaching them, who is elected to that school board. Obviously, I'm extremely thankful for Representative Jansen Owen over in the House because he has really taken on education. He cares deeply about the issues in our public schools. He has dropped a bill. This is something I've been talking about for years. It's something I've wanted so badly. I think it is very important that every single school board member across the state is elected. I don't think it makes sense to have city officials and city leaders appointing school board members, especially when they're paid positions, because we know that there is corruption within government. We know that there are city leaders who would take that opportunity to just appoint their best friends over to the school board so that they can collect a check. No, we need school board members who have been voted on by the public. We need parents to be involved, to use discernment, to pray about who is elected into those positions. We need to see them care enough to actually run for that seat, to campaign, to tell us what you're going to do as a school board member. How are you going to protect my kids? How are you going to make sure we're keeping bad things out of our schools? That parents are informed, that parents are a part of the process. It's not a job for everyone. And I want people in those seats who have a backbone and who will stand strong and do their very best to protect all Mississippi children, giving them all the best possible outcome when it comes to their education. So I stand behind this bill, and I hope others will as well. We got to take a break. Y'all stay with us. We will be right back. WIAB. Y'all stay with us. We will be right back. WIAB.
.1039 WIAB.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun flip or dive into a sweet the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Americans for Prosperity is Mississippi's and the country's leading grassroots organization dedicated to promoting economic freedom and personal liberty. Americans for Prosperity advocates for limited government, free market policies, and empowering individuals. When given freedom and opportunity, Americans are capable of extraordinary things. If you are ready to make a difference in our community and want to get involved, then visit americansforprosperity.org. Be a part of positive change at americansforprosperity.org. Paid for by Americans for Prosperity.
Pure Air Consultants offers services on your heating and cooling system. It's time to get your heating system serviced. We offer replacement, service, maintenance agreements. It's important because if you have a gas heating system, it can produce carbon monoxide. So you want to make sure you have your system serviced and cleaned to protect your family. You want to make sure your system is safe to run. You can find us on our website at mypureairconsultants.com, mypureairconsultants.com.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Come see me, Jamie Creel, and let us help protect what is important to you. This is Jack Hoffman. For nearly 31 years, Tico's Steakhouse has been a staple of fine dining in Jackson, Mississippi. Dad has long since desired for me to come work alongside him. And now that I'm here, I would like to invite you to come experience our family tradition of our hospitality, sizzling steaks, and healthy poured beverages. Our dining rooms are open and we are taking reservations. Our private rooms are also available along with takeout. Call today or stop in and experience Tico's in the second generation.
Tico's Steakhouse, East County Line Road in Ridgeland, 601-956-1030.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Cork and Door Company has been providing quality residential garage and commercial overhead door products to Mississippians for over 50 years. Cork and Door is a supplier of garage door parts and services such as LiftMaster, commercial and residential door operators, as well as Clopay, sectional commercial and residential doors, Asta, commercial sheet and rolling steel doors, and Cornell, rolling steel and shutters, with many in stock for the same-day pickup. CorkandDoor.com. That's CorkandDoor.com.
If you ever been stuck on the side of the road with engine trouble or because of an accident, you know how frustrating that can be. I'm Chad Stevens of Chad Stevens Record Service. We'll help take some of the stress out of this stressful situation. We've been rated by AAA as one of the top 10 towing services in the entire USA. Why? Well, just ask our customers. So keep our number in your cell phones and call us if you need us. 662-755-8645. That's Chad Stevens Record Service. 662-755-8645.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966-8233 or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
Come together right now.
We are back here on the Lindsey Beckham Show, coming to you from the Men's Health and Women's Wellness of Mississippi Studios. How much we love them over there. Our friend Morgan, co-host on Tuesdays. That is her stomping ground. Y'all get over there and see her. I promise you, you will not regret it. All the things: weight loss, hormone replacement therapy, general wellness, skincare, aesthetics, facials, body sculpting, Botox, all of it in one place under one roof where beauty and health meet. Truly, there could not be a better line to describe what women's wellness is. Get over there and see them today. Tell them you heard about them on the Lindsey Beckham Show. Well, the Senate meeting is still going. It is still going. Usually they like to eat lunch. So this one's going long. This one is going long. But, you know, I do think, as I was saying earlier, we're going to get some of those things that are included within HB2, the bill that everyone is so angry about. In fact, they did pass out of the Senate Education Committee earlier what they will call a math gate. So the third grade reading gate, going back to the basics, starting back with teaching reading by teaching phonics, what has worked so well, what has caused a big part of what we call around here the Mississippi Miracle. Well, HB2 has language not only to strengthen reading, but to also implement the same type of program for math. Sorry, I keep feeling like I've got to sneeze and then it doesn't happen. But the Senate today passed out of committee kind of a standalone bill to strengthen math and to put that math gate testing in. I think they had a little bit of confusion over what curriculum would be used, who would pick that curriculum. Would each school district have the liberty of deciding which math curriculum they want to use, or is there going to be a decision made for the entire state? Those are things that still kind of weren't finalized or ironed out. And so I think that there will be some more talk surrounding that, but I do think that we will probably get some version of that. Like I said, there are things included in this big, beautiful education bill put out by the House and Jason White that may not pass because his bill passes the whole thing, but we're going to see bits and parts of it here and there that are going to come out as like a standalone bill. I did see a bill that has dropped concerning AI in education. It looks like it's been double referred, which is usually the kiss of death. That usually means it probably will not come out of committee. But this bill is an act to prohibit the use of artificial intelligence for providing professional, mental, and behavioral health care. Because we all know that AI seems to be doing so much of the jobs of medical professionals these days. I think I talked about this on the show the other day, but a friend of mine was telling me about a parent in is it Ohio or Oregon, one of the O states, whose daughter started talking with this AI chatbot at school on her school device, and that chatbot turned the conversation into a sexual conversation, and it got worse and worse. And I'll tell you, this dad has done a phenomenal job of documenting all of this, but he can't get anyone to help him. He can't get any answers as to how do we make sure this is not happening moving forward. And so that really got me to thinking about what we've done in Madison schools. And I was the biggest advocate for not sending home devices with elementary school students, because I'll tell you, I had to start hiding their iPads. First of all, if we could really, truly get back to the basics, I would prefer that these kids use pencil and paper. You know, I tell my 16-year-old all the time, I can't read her text messages because she has no idea how to use punctuation or spell out words. Everything's done on a screen. And our children don't know how to write anymore. But my son Creed, who doesn't sleep, I don't know how. He's a force of nature. I'm not sure he's quite all the way human. I mean, he just does not have to have sleep. And he will stay up all night, and he would try to find his school iPad, or if I had already gotten their backpacks ready for the next day, he would go get it out, play on it all night while everybody else is sleeping, and then it will be dead in the morning. I couldn't keep the things charged. Of course, then you pay these fees. And I don't know about y'all, but I imagine if your house is anything like mine, you go through a million chargers, they get broken, they get lost. Kids take your charger constantly. I can't tell you how many chargers have just disappeared. I mean, I know where they went, and then you're stuck with paying these $40, $45 charges for a broken charger to the iPad, to the device. I mean, I wish they didn't have these devices at all. That's another thing that COVID ushered in. But I was all for elementary students leaving their devices at school, not bringing them home. Then I don't have to worry about the chargers being stolen or torn up. I don't have to worry about the device being broken. I don't have to worry about charging it every night. Just another thing to add to my list. But I was wrong, and I admit it when I'm wrong. It's very rare. Shaun can tell you it's very rare that I'm wrong. I'm kidding. But I was wrong. I was wrong on this. And now that AI has taken off the way that it has, and I'm seeing the problems in education that can come from AI, you best believe I want those devices coming home. I want to see what they're looking at. If there's some chat bot talking to my kids while they're at school, then I want to know what they're saying to my kids. You know, who's monitoring that? Because there is no way that a teacher and a teacher's assistant who have 25 children in their classroom can monitor every single one of those tablets to make sure something like that's not happening. I mean, I want to see the programs that they're using on their school-issued devices. And I think parents should have every right to see that. And I don't want to go up to the school and view it for a few minutes. I want to see every day. Every day I want to see what they did on that iPad that day. What kind of program they used. What kind of messages they're getting. Somebody's got to be monitoring this stuff because we are entering this realm, this new world of AI. This is uncharted territory, especially within the walls of a school, in our public education system. Who's accountable? Who do we hold accountable? You know, regardless if there are guardrails in place or we're using programs that are supposed to hinder anything like that from happening, as the parent, the buck stops with me. I'm accountable. At the end of the day, I'm accountable for my children. And so I was absolutely wrong when I supported elementary school students leaving their devices at school and not bringing them home anymore. That was not a good move. My thought process was this is going to limit screen time. This is going to keep kids from being glued to an iPad. But in all actuality, now I don't even know what they're looking at. And I think as AI progresses, we're going to see more and more of these types of things happening within our public school system. We need to be aware of it. We need recourse. We need to stop it before it starts here in Mississippi. And parents need to know what their children see every day. We got to take our last break. Y'all stay with us. We will be right back here to wrap things up on this Thursday afternoon here on The Lindsey Beckham Show. Things up on this Thursday afternoon here on The Lindsey Beckham Show.
.1039 WYAB.
Venable Glass is your local glass expert, offering residential, automotive, and commercial glass. Venable Glass can do it all. What sets Venable Glass apart from the rest? Unmatched reliability and customer service. Don't forget, tell your insurance company that you want to use Venable Glass. And remember, you do have a choice. Let Venable Glass work hard to earn your business. Call Venable's Ridgeland or Brandon locations today for a free estimate or visit venableglass.com.
Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is leveling up. A whole new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris is now open at the Reservoir at Beethoven's Boardwalk in Ridgeland, right next door to Cock of the Walk. And the new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris will have all of your old favorites too, like the Acme Dynamite Balls and Garlic Knots, and the best specialty pizzas ever. like the Pig, the Sergeant Pepperoni, the Surf and Turf, and lots more. Come to the all-new Acme Pizza and Daiquiris location on the Res in Ridgeland, next door to Cock of the Walk.
Why should you choose Cerami Air Conditioning and Heating for all service or installation? Well, they purchase all parts directly from the manufacturer. All of their factory-trained technicians have been hand-selected for skill, work ethic, and experience. There are never any hidden fees or charges. Cerami Air Conditioning and Heating is dedicated to your complete satisfaction, and they're family-owned and operated. For residential and commercial service or installation, contact Cerami Air Conditioning and Heating, 601-317-0729, or make an appointment through their Facebook page.
Hi, Kim Wade here. Are you craving a home-cooked meal without the hassle? Come over to McBee's Bar and Grill in Ridgeland for their Blue Plate lunch specials. Served up every weekday, at McBee's it's a different entree every day. Chicken spaghetti on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday, and catfish Fridays. And McBee's Blue Plate lunch comes with 2 classic southern sides and cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
Green's Tire and Auto on Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland can do it all. Is your check engine light on? Take it to Green's. Air not blowing cold anymore? Take it to Green's. Squeaky brakes, bald tires, misaligned front end? Take it to Green's. Green's Tire and Auto can do it all. Your car can operate just like new again when you take it to Green's. Green's Tire and Auto, Ridgewood Road in Ridgeland. Take it to Green's. 601-957-0201.
Here at Lake and Glass and Tint, we've become well known for 2 things, window tint and windshields. Now, when it comes to window tint, you already know that we're the go-to for home, car, and office. And as always, we offer free consultations. So if you're in the need of window tint or windshields, give us a call, 601-946-1000. Check us out on Facebook or Instagram or at lakeandglassandtint.com. Lake and Glass and Tint, where quality matters.
If you're a parent or grandparent, you should know that even though Mississippi is ranked as the unhealthiest state in the country, we have the highest vaccination rate for our children and grandchildren. Many of us blindly trust the medical establishment, and now it's time to question vaccine safety. Mississippi Parents for Vaccine Rights is a grassroots organization working to educate the public and lawmakers about this important topic. Be informed. Go to mpvr.org. Like us on Facebook to stay up to date on the latest information. That's Mississippi Parents for Vaccine Rights, mpvr.org.
I'm speaking with Lee Bounds of Rapid Rate Mortgage. How does real estate agent Rita Jensen succeed when time is of the essence?
In today's market, it is so important to communicate and close on time. Typically have 30 days to close, get a home inspection, appraisal, title work, that kind of thing is a mortgage process. And a realtor relationship is so important. With a realtor like Rita Jensen with Remax Connection, she helps us to close on time.
RitaJensen.net.
Come together right now. Oh.
We are back for the last few minutes here of the Lindsey Beckham Show on this Thursday afternoon before the apocalypse, the ice storm of the century. Telling you what, global warming is going to get us all. Oh, don't they love to use that to fearmonger every now and then? They throw in the global warming. But I do hope everyone stays safe out there if we do get the kind of weather that they are talking about with ice on the roads. I know we don't know how to drive in that weather around here. I know I don't. You will not see me driving. No, thank you. It's hard enough for me to drive on a dry road in perfect weather conditions. But cover your water hose. What are those things called? Outside. Leave your water dripping so you don't bust any of your pipes. What a mess that would be. If you have a generator, get it ready. And stay safe out there. I hope everyone is able to be prepared and able to get water and the things that you may need if we do lose power. That Senate Education Committee is still going, and as you know, I will break down and decipher everything that they get through today. And of course, I will update you with more information on all of that. That weird person who just loves to watch legislation as it comes through. We'll be back tomorrow right here, WYB 103.9, same time, same place. I'll see you then.